Hi, everyone. Today, I'd like to present our research paper, A Literature Review of Video Sharing Platform Research in HCI. To begin, let's talk about why a review of research on video sharing platforms is valuable to the community. First, video sharing platforms have reached new heights in popularity. In the last 2 years, YouTube has exceeded other social media when it comes to usage in the US. YouTube was the most widely used social media by adults in 2021, and in a 2022 survey with teens, YouTube surpassed Instagram, Snapchat, and other platforms by at least 33%. Second, the rise of video sharing with social media users has been accompanied by a growth in video sharing research in HCI. This figure shows research published from 2012 to June 2022 in top HCI venues such as CHI and CSCW. However, there's yet to be a review of all of this important work. There's a need to understand the extent, range, and nature of the literature in this growing subfield. Therefore, we set out to do a scoping review of video sharing platform research in HCI. Though, before I get into our paper, it's important to define what a video sharing platform is. On a basic level, video sharing platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch are social media with an emphasis on video sharing. More specifically, video sharing platforms have 4 unique characteristics that set them apart from other social media. First, when it comes to content, video sharing platforms, or VSPs for short, invite users to broadcast videos as the main form of media through uploading or live streaming. Next, from the user perspective, video creators create personally meaningful videos to engage with viewers. Professionalization lets creators emerge as micro-celebrities and gain monetary income through video creation. From the social perspective, user interactions are centered around videos, where features like commenting, liking, and subscribing can lead to the formation of virtual communities. Last, besides streaming and displaying videos, VSPs leverage algorithmic systems like video ranking and recommendation algorithms to augment video delivery services. To gain a deep understanding of past and present video sharing research, we ask questions about the research themes that have been explored, the methods that have been used, and the findings that have emerged. So, to get a data set of papers, we collected papers from the top HCI venues. We selected those published in the last decade, and we included papers that studied VSPs or otherwise studied VSP data. This resulted in 106 papers for analysis, where most came from CHI or CSCW, and YouTube was the main platform studied. To get a rich sense of the research themes in video sharing, we performed grounded theory analysis on the dataset. 6 themes emerged from the data. The top theme in our dataset was online communities. Researchers looked at sub-communities of VSPs where users connected over shared interests, identities, or experiences. The second most frequent theme was social participation, where researchers examined the various ways that users participate socially on VSPs. Next, papers proposed new video interaction systems and tools, ones that augmented or introduced new forms of video sharing. In the interaction with VSPs theme, researchers examined the ways that users interacted with videos, video display features, and algorithms. In studies where videos were a design material, researchers looked to VSP videos to derive design inspiration, whether for other VSPs or other technology. And last, a few papers leveraged VSP video data with the goal of building and training machine learning models. Next, we performed multi-categorical encoding on the research methods in our data. For the categories, we drew from Snelson's categorization of social media research methods. Qualitative observation was the most common method, where studies performed content analyses, observational studies, and thematic analyses on videos, live streams, and comments. The other methods from top to bottom were interview, survey, big data analysis, and user study and evaluation. Finally, we analyzed the research findings in our dataset using another grounded theory analysis. This time, it resulted in a framework that conceptualizes the research findings while positioning them among 5 core components of video sharing platforms. Now, this is a lot of information, so let's break it down. The core components are indicated by circles. These 5 components emerge from our analysis as high-level categories that the research findings fit into. In the center, we have creator and viewer components, and down the middle, we have video, community, and platform. Bidirectional arrows connect components and illustrate how research sub-findings relate to one another. Text boxes indicate the sub-findings for each component, and while sub-findings map directly to one component, others map to two, indicating a relationship between components. Now, since we're limited on time, we'll focus the findings related to the viewer component. The viewer component shares sub-findings with every other component. Our analysis found 3 sub-findings between viewer and video. Those included watching motivations, video navigation and interaction, and experiences with video accessibility. Findings shared between creator and viewer components provided new insights on the emotional attachment and engagement between creators and viewers, the phenomenon of monetary gifting and donating, as well as the role of authenticity and trust. Viewing community had 1 sub-finding, which reported on social behaviors of viewers, primarily social interactions that took place in video comments. The last set of sub-findings we'll touch on today are those shared between viewer and platform components. Papers reported on VSP algorithms, features, and policies, in addition to users' beliefs, reactions, and behaviors regarding them. Beyond serving as a summary of past and current research in video sharing, our framework can be used to identify gaps and future directions in the field. In our review, we took a close look at each paper's recommendations for future research. I'll describe a few highlights here, though I do invite you to take a look at our discussion section for more. For one, researchers recommended that future work further explores creator-viewer interactions. They identified understudied topics like the emotional outcomes of creator and viewer relationships, or video interaction designs that can reduce toxicity against creators and promote healthy and productive social interactions. Papers also pointed to a need for future work to examine community dynamics. They identified a need to study the influence of community norms on user behavior and to emphasize sub-communities from diverse and underrepresented populations. They also recommended that future designs of VSP systems and tools facilitate collaborative relationships. Tools could be used and designed to support collective governance, moderation, and video management. And last, many papers pointed to a need for future research to address VSP algorithmic systems. Not only should researchers delve deeper into users' algorithmic experiences, but they should propose new designs too, ones that center the needs of users like individual interests, values, and emotions, as well as social connection and intimacy. As you can see, there are many exciting directions for video sharing research, and I hope our paper has taught you something about the field and maybe elicited some future ideas for your own work. Thank you so much for listening and have a great Kai.